Guys, flashing cash with property, it's a big thing at the moment. Interest rates have gone up. How do you make money? Kath and Kim's property is being demolished. They're flashing cash and demolishing it and building something new. Let's talk about it with our property news today.
Good morning, Mr. Mark Nolan.
How are you?
I am good. How are you on this fine day?
It doesn't get much better than this weather, guys and girls. Sydney has got it on 10 out of 10.
I know. We can't jinx it, though. I think it's meant to rain tomorrow, so enjoy it while we can.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Now, Kath and Kim's home is being demolished. Very, very sad time.
I know. I read it in the news yesterday, and it's just such an iconic home, such an iconic TV show. I think a lot of people were upset about that news that, yeah, the Kath and Kim house is being demolished. So there goes any hopes of a reunion, which is a shame.
That's a shame. And 0.25% interest rates up. It's equivalent to $60 on a $500,000 mortgage. So Australians have been sobered up a little bit over the last 24 hours. The love affair of low interest rates looks like it's over, but they're still low. They're still low.
There is, and I think today we're going to talk about some ways that you can still bring cash into your property. There's heaps of different ways, but today I think this is a fun little topic that people didn't realize is a way to make money in your home.
Absolutely, you've done it. I've done it.
Yeah. So pretty much what we were going to cover is just renting out your property for film sets and advertisements and TV, which is something I find really fun and interesting. I think it's a fun little topic.
It sounds like it's really exotic, but I think if you talk to anyone around a dinner table, around a workplace, someone will say, I know someone who's done it. So it's actually a lot more common than you think.
Yeah, well, even this morning I was talking to my mum and she was saying that we'd filmed stuff in our house and I had no idea. So I think we filmed it was probably like a knit commercial or something, not a fun one.
So how much do these guys pay, Nat? Where do we find these guys? How much do they pay? Why are they interested in what are they looking for when they're looking for doing filming in homes?
Well, we were talking a bit off air about this, but I think people are looking for homes that people can relate to. So it's the everyday home that's quite popular right now. We've seen it with Kath and Kim. That was such an average Australian home, but so many people saw it and saw themselves in that home, which is why it's so sentimental that it's being knocked down. But there are these agencies and these big companies that are actually paying for TV ads. They can go from $1,500 to $2,000 a day. And if we're seeing someone rent their home out for a series that goes for 6 months, for example, entire programs can go for $100 to $200K, which is insane if you're thinking about the numbers of that.
And I guess, yes, there's aspirational homes as well. Like if you look at Married at First Sight and, they're filming probably for 3 months or 4 months in a house, paying I know that's in the order of a couple $100,000 for that period that they're paying. But then they're looking for commercial homes which have, relatable features to a lot of families where families can see themselves in that setting. So they can't see themselves in a castle, but they can see themselves at a really nice double front door opening into a lounge room or something. And that's what these film sets are looking like. Now, it's cheaper for these film companies to do that rather than to recreate that. So rather than recreating that scenario, they'd rather just grab your house and do some filming in there.
Yeah, exactly. And with COVID as well, I think there's been a big demand for movies are starting to come back and there's a surging demand for space. And so a lot of filmmakers have had to start looking externally to the big Fox studios. And so, yeah, there's heaps of films. Even if you look at films in the past few years, I think Thor had been filmed in Australia, in Queensland and the bushland up there. Like there's a huge market in Australia especially, but yeah, it's definitely, I think homes is one that's probably going to keep growing because it's cheaper for filmmakers, and then they don't have to do all that extra prop work. Like they can use stuff that's in the home as well.
So where would I find these companies that can film in my home if I'm looking to use my home?
Well, if you look up just even like lending my home for film sets, there are a bunch of different agencies that actually exist. So two big ones, Big House Locations and Pure Locations. Pure Locations are responsible for, I think, more like extravagant homes. So we're talking about like Love Island, the Bachelor Mansion, like things, a lot of reality TV. But Big House Locations, that's more probably closer to like your Kath and Kim, your Packed to the Rafters, your everyday sort of family homes. Okay,
and the freight's about 1,500, $2,000. What are the other ways that we can flash cash in our homes at the moment? And I think it's a particularly relevant topic at the moment because people have lost a little bit of money with interest rates going up, but they can make a little bit of money even if they're, as an example, going on a holiday. You can do a holiday rental in your home.
Yeah, exactly. I think Airbnb is the secret gem for property, I think.
Big bucks, photo your property, whack it up in a time that you're going away, flash some cash. What else we got on our topics today of ways to flash cash?
Well, I think you were touching on refinancing your home a bit.
Yep. So we had Shore Financial in our office 2 weeks ago. On average, every single customer they have that comes through their door, they save them at least, I think they mentioned 0.35 on an interest rate savings. So that's another way to flash cash in your property, get some refinancing done, refinance at a lower rate, and that can make up the difference. What else is on there?
Oh, well, I just had a fun little case study of this home that they didn't actually go through an agency when they rented out their home for like commercials and ads and TV shows. So there was this Brisbane family in November last year, and the mum had actually just made an Instagram account for like keeping up to date on her property renovations. And then all these brands and film scouts just came upon her Instagram page and asked to film stuff out of her property. So like they got Ash Barty in to film one commercial, and they have, I think, 3 young kids. So they got all photos with the amazing Ash Barty. So,
you know what, that's a good point. Having your house out there is a good way to attract these talent scouts for houses.
Yeah.
I guess if you have no photos on your social media account of your home, there's no chance they're going to find you. If you do make a point of promoting your home a little bit to them, these guys directly or on social, you can also make money that way. Good morning to Paul Anthony Hay, and good morning to Sasha Svjanovic. How are you guys? What else we got on our list of flashing cash, Nat?
Oh, well, we were just saying how there's a big market for Hollywood studios. Like they're just looking more towards the everyday home and away from the studios. And that's especially because of COVID. But yeah, I just think with film sets, I think it's going to be something that's really growing, especially after COVID, now that there's less lockdown rules in place, that people are probably more open to letting others into their home. So that Brisbane family, for example, I think they made $50K from just renting out their property to film sets. And all that really requires is just like, I know for when we did it when I was younger, good morning, when we rented out our home for an advertisement, you just make sure it's all clean, you leave, go have lunch, and then come back at the end of the day, and it's how you left it. It's all clean and like normal, like nothing really changed. You might find that odd picture frames moved.
And then you get to watch your house on television.
Yeah. So I think it's just really reiterating the point that you can really make your home a brand in a way. So similarly to how like someone would use social media, like influencers, for example, like advertising who they are and what they can, like what they portray. I think homes is something that making Instagrams and socials for your home as if it were your personal brand is something that can make you money.
Absolutely, and and again, we can tie that back to getting your house out there. So if you're doing a flash cash and make some money out of your home, you've got to be a little bit public with it for these talent scouts to see it. But yeah, definitely what you were saying before about the Sydney, Australia, Queensland, we're definitely on the map more than ever for making film. It used to typically be Hollywood only. Then it started going New Zealand, and now it's tapped right into Australia. So we are getting more of those production companies interested. Have we missed anything on our magic list from this morning?
No, I think we've touched on everything. Oh, we were talking briefly about, like, as you were saying, Queensland is a big market at the moment. The Gold Coast and a bunch of, like, the more beachy areas, they're always going to be prime filming locations. So, like, George Clooney and Julia Roberts, they filmed at this property on the Gold Coast. And for a movie called A Ticket to Paradise, I don't know if anyone's heard of that one, but they filmed it at this property. And then recently, last month, it sold for the home sold for $7.2 million, breaking the previous suburb record of $5.5 million. So it just shows that even having that celebrity factor in your home, being like, oh, George Clooney was once in these walls, it can add so much value to your home.
Oh, and look, I don't know. I've often watched this celebrity factor on homes and see it go for more. I find it hard to believe, but it is true. So, and I don't know whether it's because the property gets so much airtime and exposure when it does go up for sale, that there's so many more eyeballs on the property that it gets the opportunity to get a better price, or I don't know if it's that. I don't know. Wank about being George Clooney, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not a myth. It's definitely a fact, and it's either because they're highly exposed homes or because people just love the if you bought Frank Sinatra's home, there's a bit of X factor about it, but very, very interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think it's that novelty factor. Like, I know if I ever bought a house that George Clooney had been in, that was the first thing I'd be telling people as they came through the front door. So I think it's definitely that idea. It's like sort of aspirational in a way. Like, oh, if George Clooney was in here, maybe I can be George Clooney. I think that's like that's how I would perceive it, because I'd definitely be that person.
Love it. So, rolling out, concluding on what we're speaking about today, I think there's a couple of things we can conclude on, draw to, and that are true. Flashing cash out of your property. Yes, interest rates have gone up 0.25%, which is $60 on $500,000 of mortgage over a month. But there's definitely ways you can flash cash with these talent scouts. We've given you a couple of names today of talent scouts that can put your home on television for commercials. You have certain features that are sought after. We've talked about those features. We've talked about a holiday letting your home while you're away. We've talked about celebs, your property value being worth more with celebs. Anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Like, there's just, filming in homes. It's just something to think about. Like, but if anyone's interested still, looking for the extra cash, Luke. But it's Big House Locations is one of them, and Pure Locations is the other. You can even have a look on their website and see what they filmed there. A lot of the time you might not think, oh, I know what the Bachelor Mansion looks like, but you'll see properties and you'll realize, oh, that's where that was filmed. And I think there's a huge market just to get into lending out your home for filming.
Who would have thought? Anyway, have a great day, Nat. Thank you for the show today.
Oh, thank you, Mark. You have a good day too.
And enjoy this beautiful weather. I reckon this is probably one of the best days we've had in a month. So have a great day, everyone.
Amazing.
See you, Ledge.
See ya.
See you, everyone. Take care.